name is Laura Winholt. Originally, I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. I've lived there most of my life, and I moved to Daufuskie Island in May of 2006. Someone told me that there was a group of feral cats living in a dumpster on Daufuskie, and I had to look the word feral up. I'm from the suburbs, and I didn't know what a feral cat was. So I found out that a feral cat is a cat that is born and lives in the wild, and they're not very social, and they adapt to the environment very easily, and then they reproduce. So I went to this location on Daufuskie, and what I saw was appalling. And I knew I needed to do something, but I didn't really know what to do, being new to the island. So I just kind of sat with it for a while. One day I was on my way to work, and I saw this cat on the side of the road, and I wasn't sure if it was living or dead. But I'd seen this cat before with a litter of kittens. And so I went over to this animal. I had no idea what I was doing. I took off my sweater and I tossed it over this animal, and the animal was pretty lifeless, but it was breathing. So I wrapped it up, brought it home, put it in a box, got out the yellow pages, and I looked up our local no-kill shelter, and they told me about a feral cat program, trap, neuter, release, which I had no idea what that was. Anyway, I kept this cat till it was strong enough, and then I took it over on the ferry, had it spayed, brought it back, and they notched the little ear, and then the light came on. I can do this for all those cats at this dumpster site. Started taking cats over on the ferry, and it was quite the scene. Residents were asking me, "What are you doing? Where do these cats come from?" So I start telling them, and I started getting volunteers. The next thing I know, there's cats at the dumpster in this part of the island. There's cats at the dumpster in this part of the island. There's cats behind the restaurant over here. So it just developed into this big trap, neuter, release, free-roaming colony situation. In 2012, we started to get some new development on the island, and the developers didn't necessarily want or understand why all these cats were hanging around these places of business. They tolerated them for a while, but they really wanted a better solution, and I didn't have one to offer them, but I did the best I could. We worked with the business owners. We tried to, we moved the stations in unobtrusive locations. Every cat was, by this time, by 2012, every cat that we managed in 11 different areas on the island were all spayed and neutered. We had 151 animals that we had taken over for spay-neuter and come back to be released. In 2012, I was contacted by the ASPCA. There was a hoarding situation, and they wanted to relocate 99 cats, and I just threw up my hands and laughed and said, well, they're not coming to this island. I've got enough to deal with. And they said, well, there's grant money involved. And I said, let me think about my mission, and I'll get back with you. And my mission at the time was to spay and neuter, release cats into colonies, and then let them manage them and let them decline natural by attrition. And so my goal was to decrease the number of free-roaming cats on this island. And bringing cats in is not part of my goal. But if they weren't free-roaming, maybe that would be something I could offer. And then the light came on. Why not build a fence, bring in these animals from a hoarding situation, and maybe I can make business owners on the island happier. Maybe there's another need on this island if I have an enclosure. So boom, it just fell into my lap. And I did a bunch of Google, contacted my volunteers, and literally within 2 months, we built the first circle of this cat enclosure. I have 8 regular feeders, and I have 22 total volunteers, and the additional volunteers come for our biannual house cleaning. I call it spring cleaning and fall cleaning. My oldest cat is the cat that I found on the side of the road in 2006. She was an adult at that time. She's got a liver disease, and but she's still active. She's eating well. She gets medication. She's on a special diet. I wish I could take her in my house. All kinds of records I can print out. This is a vaccination record. So if I want to see what the vaccinations are due, everything's on my computer, and I can print up a list of vaccines due. I can print up a list of flea medicine due or worming medication due. I can pull up their weights, take a look at their weights now and then 6 months ago. Let's get your weights. Let's see how much you weigh. Yeah. Crookie, 7 pounds. 7.5 pounds. You big fatty. Yeah, not bad that. Let's look at the ears. Oh, those ears, you hate having your ears cleaned. Those ears need cleaning. Yeah, you'd be so embarrassed if I put you through that in front of them, wouldn't you? Because he's misbehaves and he has to be wrapped up like a burrito. A sanctuary operation takes a lot of management. It takes money. It takes time. But it's very, very rewarding. I am so lucky that I get to have this in my back. I get to wake up to this every day. This brings me super joy. This is my refuge. If I'm not in a very happy mood, I come out here and play with some cats for a little while, and I'm feeling pretty good. I just forget all my worries and cares. So I'm happy to do this.